And it is time. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to my live stream. My name is Tyler Ramsbey, and whether you are watching this live as it happens or after the fact on YouTube, I say this every time, but it's because I mean it. It really is an honor to have you take the time to hang out with me this evening or this day, whatever time it is where you're at, and to learn pen testing and ethical hacking together. In today's stream, we're going to continue kind of this Azure journey that I've been on. I actually just shared this over on Twitch, but I have an Azure pen test coming up. And so I'm brushing up and really learning Azure pen testing for the first time. I know some of the basics of Azure, but I've been doing a really deep dive the past couple of weeks into Azure specific pen testing. And during this time, I discovered an incredible platform called pwnlabs.io. It's actually a platform created by one of the leaders of Hack the Box, at least back when they were at Hack the Box before they started their own company. And they actually help oversee a lot of the cloud labs, the business cloud labs over at Hack the Box. So the quality at pwnlabs.io is amazing. Now, up to this point, I've done their free labs. I haven't shown off the premium content yet, but we have made it through all of their free Azure labs. At least I'm pretty sure we have. But today, I'm excited to showcase some of their premium Azure content. And just a reminder, they have labs for Azure, GCP, and AWS. And they also have a red team almost challenge called Thunderdome. Thunderdome, I might totally mess up these details. I think it's around 9 flags. And it's a realistic red team environment where you have to use AWS, Azure, and GCP in order to pwn the environment. So you need to take all those skills, put them together, and see if you are able to do it. So I have a premium subscription, would recommend you get one as well. It's super affordable. Other platforms, in order to learn cloud, usually costs hundreds of dollars just for initial setup. Honestly, at pwnlabs, I believe it's $20 a month, or a little bit cheaper if you do a year-long subscription. And it's definitely worth it if you want to get into cloud pen testing or cloud blue team. They have both red team, blue team, and kind of purple labs across the board. So you get good practice on both sides of things. So I'm super excited to showcase for you all the premium labs. Before they do that, let me say hello to all of you over at chat. Knox Lemon said, hopefully this thing comes through. Watching a Black Hat talk you might be interested in during your freeish time. It's called All You Need Is Guest. Yeah, please share it. I'm not sure if YouTube will allow you to share the link, but if you have me on Discord or are part of the Work Smarter Discord, drop it there in the videos channel and tag me in it. Would love to check it out. Looking over at chat, we got the one and only Overgrown Carrot. We got J Money. We got Reckless Gizmo. We got Clay Hacks. And it looks like a lot of other people who just haven't said anything in chat. Let me check out LinkedIn. See how LinkedIn is doing. Looks like all is going good there. All right. Awesome. We're starting out with a pretty decent crowd. So thank you all for hanging out here. And Clay has said, oh, by the way, since you are multi-streaming, have you looked into Restream to combine chats? I have, kind of. So I don't know if y'all have looked into Restream, but Restream, in order to stream in full 1080 HD, which is what I'm doing right now, to stream in 1080 HD, you need to pay, I think it's $50 a month, which to me is absolutely silly. I'm streaming in full HD to as many platforms as I want right now, using OBS, completely free in 1080 HD. The only downside is chats aren't combined, at least right now. There actually are OBS plugins that will combine the chats from the different platforms. To be honest, I just haven't taken the time to figure it out. So Restream seems like a cool thing, but I'm not going to spend $50 a month to do what I can figure out how to do myself. I believe the hacker way to do it is like bootstrap the technology you have and figure out how to get it done. So that's kind of what I've done for the multi-streaming. Yeah, I know, dude. The price is crazy. Like, you can do it a lot cheaper. They even have a free plan where you can stream to maybe 2 platforms, but until you hit that like $50 a month price range, you can only stream in 720p, which like, yo, I'm streaming in 1080 HD. I don't want to cut the quality of my stream and pay money at the same time. Yeah, dude, no problem. Overgrown Carrot as well. I shared this plugin with Overgrown Carrot. OBS, like if you guys ever use OBS, when you first set it up, it looks confusing. It really does, but it's not. Once you get initial setup, it's super easy to use. And there's so many YouTube videos online, guys, that teach you how to set it up. If you want to get into live streaming, it would take you literally about an hour just to read up on it, maybe follow along with the YouTube video, and you'll have everything set up and ready to go. But all right, y'all. Without any further ado, let's hack some stuff. here is my screen, and we have our Kali machine here, and we have our Windows attack box right here. I'm already logged into Pwn Labs, but if you haven't already, go to pwnlabs.io. You can check out the free stuff, but like I said before, we are going to do a premium lab. So if you want to follow along hands-on with me, you need a premium subscription, but yo, it's worth it. I don't get any kickbacks by you signing up. I don't have a referral link. Even if I had one, I have referral links, so like try hack me and stuff, and I always forget to share it. So like the stuff I talk about, I really just believe in it. I'm not getting a kickback if you sign up, but you should sign up because it's an awesome platform and there's some cool stuff that you can learn. So I'm going to switch it over to Azure because this is what I'm trying to learn. And we have done, we've done this lab, this lab, this lab, and this is a cool lab, right? So to be upfront with you, usually when I dive into things, I do it completely blind. I'm not doing this completely blind. I did do this lab previously, but I don't have any of my notes from when I went through it, and I think I had to look at the walkthrough because I was stuck. So I guarantee you I'm still going to stumble my way through it, but I'll also share with you some of the things that trip me up on my initial look over so that you don't think I'm just super smart. All right, so just to be clear, I did work through this lab a little bit a few days ago before doing it today. All right, unmask privilege Azure and I can't type. Unmask privileged access in Azure, and we will click start pwning, and let's turn our lab on. So we have this unique ID, which will make sense in a moment. But before we even get into that, let's go ahead and set up our notes. I'm gonna pull up my Kali machine here. We're gonna pull up Cherry Tree. And here we go. We're gonna set up a new thing here, and we'll call it Azure. I'm just going to call it the Unmask Lab for now. That kind of fits the context, and we'll grab this, and let's grab the scenario. Well, we'll just grab all of this, and I'll remove the stuff that I don't want. We'll grab this stuff right here, and we will drop it into our notes. Let's make this big, and we'll format it a little better, and we'll also read through the scenario. So here's the scenario. As part of our pre-engagement reconnaissance, several mega big tech employee profiles on LinkedIn were reviewed. One of their new employees, Matthias Lundgren, posted recently about his new role in Office Space. This caught the eye as there appeared to be a post-it note on the wall that had later been obfuscated. We are tasked with gaining initial access and demonstrating impact by increasing our privilege. So some priv-esque type stuff and some recon as well. We have our learning outcomes. I always like to use this kind of as a roadmap of, hey, here are the things we need to focus on. So reveal a password that is masked using iOS markup tool. We're going to do Azure situational awareness using the CLI and ROADRecon. We're going to identify and exploit Azure attack paths. We're going to abuse Entra ID to gain privileges, and automation account enumeration and secret exfiltration. So this might take a while, y'all. This is a pretty massive lab and the things that you dig into, but I'm super excited to dig into this with you. Let's go grab a little more information from our lab. I always like to look at the real world context right here. Real world context. So exposing login credentials and sensitive information, whether online or a managed system, poses serious security risks in the real world. Such practices can lead to unauthorized access either by red teams or real threat actors. Secure handling of credentials and using encrypted storage is crucial to mitigate these risks and safeguard against potential security breaches. And hey, y'all. Totally like a squirrel moment right here. I meant to say this in the beginning of my stream. Just a reminder, if you didn't see this online, I will be featured with Dr. Jerry Auger on Simply Cyber, his live show tomorrow, Thursday at, I think, is it 4? I think it's 4:30 Eastern Time, 3:30 Central Standard Time. So tomorrow, y'all, I'm super pumped to be on the Simply Cyber show. I'm gonna talk about CVE hunting, and guess what, y'all? I have another confirmed CVE working on the POC in the blog post. Actually, it's done, just waiting final review. So I'll be releasing that CVE next week. But tomorrow, I will be on Simply Cyber with Dr. Jerry, and pumped to hang out with that community. So if you're free tomorrow afternoon, join me. Would love to have you there as we work through that interview. All right, so we have our real world context, and we have an image right here. So we need to grab this image. Here is the image that an employee posted. Now, if we go back over to our notes, we have this reveal password that is marked with iOS markup tool. So we should probably spend a little bit of time reading about iOS markup tool and what is going on here. So if we just type iOS markup tool unmask, maybe. Here we have an article. So let's understand what's going on. Sensitive information you black out in images can be revealed with a few quick edits on your iPhone. So there is this iOS markup tool, and people, you often carelessly will kind of try to edit stuff out. And this has actually happened if you Google this, and it's led to some legit breaches, but they try to use this to obfuscate data or signatures or sensitive information, but it's technically a highlighter. And so if you just adjust brightness and contrast, you can actually get access to what is in the image. So we have some examples right here, and you can see, at least on an iPhone, you can adjust some things here and you're able to see what is actually being hidden. Another example right here. Now, I'm not going to use an iPhone to do this. You can use GIMP to do this, but when I was doing it, I realized the good old Microsoft Edge, you can actually do this in your browser. We'll see if it actually works for me right here, but let me go ahead and download this file. Then we have it downloaded, and we'll open file. But actually, I want to open it with Edge, so I need to right click, open with, more options, Microsoft Edge. And if I right click and edit image, fingers crossed, or is it not going to feel like working? Oh, come on. I believe in you, Microsoft Edge. You're failing me when I need you most. Okay. Microsoft Edge isn't going to work for us. So let's go to good old GIMP, which I don't even know if I have installed on my Kali machine. I don't. Can we just do sudo apt install GIMP? Is it that simple? Ladies and gentlemen, we'll find out. It might be that simple. And I also need to grab the image and now and pull it over to my Linux machine. So we'll grab this, pull up Kali here. Did not mean to open a new tab though. All right, we got that downloaded. So am I really going to have issues with this? I probably have to sudo apt update some stuff, but I'm not going to do that on stream because it takes too long. So, hey, when all else fails, let's go like this, right? You should always have different ways of doing it. We can install GIMP on Windows. .3 minutes, and honestly, we could probably just do an online photo editor and probably do it that way as well. Let's pull up. Let's try this. Let's try this. I'm not going to pay money. Edit photo for free. If you make me make an account, I'm not going to do it. Okay, cool. You freaking scrub. I'm not signing up for your stupid freaking accounts. No. Hey, I don't have to. Okay. Open. No. All right. Do we have a spot where we can adjust colors on this tool? Maybe adjust color. I want to be able to adjust like contrast and brightness. I don't want to do that. What up, y'all on YouTube? We're just doing some photo editing, obviously, just for fun. How is there not just like simple contrast? Am I missing it? If someone sees like the contrast button, tell me. Usually you would think colors, fine tune. Oh, exposure. Okay, let's try this. Oh, I might be able to see some writing there. How do I? I want to scroll up on that part of the picture. There we go. Hey, we're seeing. I think we have it there. I don't know if shadow. Oh yeah, there we go. So summer days 1 exclamation mark is what it looks like to me. Summer days 1 exclamation mark. That's what it looks like to me. So let's grab that for our notes here. And totally forgot to explain the unique ID. Let me jump back to the lab environment real quick. You'll notice at the top we have a unique ID. Because these are different labs in the cloud, you have to append this into the passwords you find. So as we find passwords in this lab, we append this unique ID to it, and then it works for our specific cloud lab that we are working on. So as we find passwords, we just throw that onto the end of the password. So this password would actually be summer days 1 that. That's going to be our full password. And if we look up here, we have this employee right here, Matthias Lundgren, and he works at megabigtech.com. So we might be able to just guess what his username might be. It might be that, whoops, at megabigtech.com. Let's see if we can sign into the Azure portal with that information. And we'll do sign in. If this doesn't work, maybe we'll try like Matthias at megabigtech, or you know, we could do the username in a few different ways. Let's try this. Okay. Hey, I think we might have some success there. So it's Matthias. Let's just erase this. And we'll grab this password that we got from that sticky note. And I think we have successfully authenticated. So here we are. We're able to authenticate with those credentials. I need to pull up Lightshot so I can take my screenshots good. And there we go. We can show that we have successfully authenticated, and we'll just drop that in our notes right there. All right. So we have authentication. So we have done this. So actually, we could even take this. And we'll just kind of make a header right here. Technically, I could make a new node, but I'm going to do it this way. So we have this is done. Now it says Azure Situational Awareness using the CLI and ROADRecon. And first, let me make sure I'm not missing anything in the chat. Got my words per minute up a whole 2 words, basically unstoppable. Nice trick, this Gizzle. Maybe at the end we can have a typing race again. Yeah, exactly, Overgrown Carrot. I agree. Overgrown Carrot said, I like how this has learning outcomes. Kind of gives you away if you don't know much about cloud pen testing. Yeah, and they also have full walkthroughs for every lab. But so far, every lab I've done, I try to do it myself. Then I'll look at the walkthrough, and I've done every single lab different than the official walkthrough, but still got to the end goal. So that's one of the things I really like about this platform. A lot of CTFs are like, hey, if you don't do it this exact way, it's not going to work. But with Pwn Labs, there's always multiple ways to accomplish a lab, and that is something I really appreciate. Let me check YouTube stuff over here. All right, cool. A lot of people saying hi over on YouTube. We got Ian, the Dark Cats, Firebeat Tony, Maru Can Fly, Dario, Sats. What's up, y'all? Thanks for taking the time to hang out with me. Appreciate it. But okay, so the next one is Azure Situation Awareness using the CLI and ROADRecon. So let's read a little bit about ROADRecon and understand what we are using. So Road Tools is a framework to interact with Azure AD, which is technically Entra ID now. It consists of a library with common components, the ROADRecon Azure AD Exploration Tool, and the Road Tools Token Exchange Tool. So ROADRecon is a tool for exploiting information in Azure AD from both a red team and a blue team perspective. In short, this is what it does. Uses an automatically generated metadata model to create a SQL Alchemy-backed database on disk. Uses an asynchronous HTTP calls in Python to dump all available information in the Azure AD graph to this database. Sounds almost like Azure Hound. Provide plugins to query this database and output it to a useful format, and provide an extensive interface built in Angular that queries the offline database directly for its analysis. There are multiple ways to install it. We can just install it with pip. Now, I had issues doing this on Windows. I'll try it again because there's actually a different Windows VM when I was doing this. So I just had issues using pip in general, even though I have it installed. I get this error. People smarter than me can probably figure out how to fix it, but it works great in Linux. So when I do Azure stuff, I'm always, you guys probably knows this on stream, I'm always switching back and forth between my Windows attack box and my Linux attack box. So if you want to do Azure pen testing, you almost need two VMs, two machines that you can jump back and forth between, and that's what I'm doing. Both of them just VMs. So let's try to install ROADRecon here instead. Pip install ROADRecon. Oh, I might need to sudo it so it just automatically throws it in my path. Huh. Maybe we'll have to install it a different way. Cannot import name skip header from there. Hey, default sec. Yeah, we are still doing the Azure path. What are the specs of my computer over on YouTube? So here's what's confusing. I'm using two computers right now. So my personal computer I'm on right now has an incredible graphic card because I use it for gaming, but only 16 gigs of RAM. So I actually can't run my Kali machine and like Windows VMs and OBS and stream at the same time. So like this Kali VM right now is being hosted on my local computer. This Windows VM, I'm actually hosting on a different computer on my local network, but I have RDP set up into it. So this is actually being hosted on a different machine that I kind of turned into my Windows server for Azure pen testing. So this Windows machine itself, like this Windows VM on its own, has 16 gigs of RAM. So it has the same amount of RAM as my host machine. Kind of confusing, but it works really well using my two different computers in this way as I host different VMs on them. I call it the Tyler Cloud. We're using the Tyler Cloud to hack the Azure Cloud. But it seems like my Kali machine doesn't like ROADRecon. Frick is the password? Look at that. Worked on Parrot. Okay. So I bet everything will work on this Parrot VM right here. Oh my goodness. Well, let's keep going, right? I lost all my notes because it's on my other VM. I don't have Cherry Tree. That's ugly. Why would Cherry Tree start with like that as the color scheme? Like what a terrible color scheme. And why would they start with the text of 9? You know what I mean? No one uses 9-point text. It still is ugly right now, but we're gonna go with it. I'm gonna see if I can open this Kali VM back up without breaking my system. But hey y'all, I'm pivoting. We're making it work. I might edit this video down when I actually post it on YouTube, or I'll just post like the entire hour of like brokenness and frustration, but overcoming it. The great philosopher Mike Tyson once said, everyone has a plan until they're punched in the face. And sometimes when you work with computers, it feels like you're being punched in the face. Don't open all this crap, you stupid freaking Kali. I'm blaming OffSec just because I don't like them, even though it's not their fault, but I'm still going to blame them. All right. Bye, Kali. You're going to get deleted. All right. Well, we have ROADRecon configured, so that is a plus. How do we use ROADRecon? So we can do ROADRecon auth. ROADRecon auth. Let's try that. Okay. ROADRecon auth. Do we have to specify like a user? Let's actually read about it. Okay, yeah, so -u for user and -p for password. Whoops. So let's try that. -u for our user, which is right here. I'm just going to put it in that. And -p for our password. I think we're going to have to escape this exclamation mark. Okay, good job, Tyler. You don't know how to spell ROADRecon. Maybe I don't need to add that. Okay, no, I do. That's definitely the username and password. Is there a different way? Okay, let's try it this way. We can do the device code flow. That might work better. All right, we'll grab our code. All right, and now we'll see if our account works. When one way fails, figure out another way. Okay. We got authenticated. We're actually getting somewhere now. So it says we want to do situational awareness with ROADRecon, and we're going to figure out some attack paths. So we need to figure out how to do that. What are some things we can do? Data gathering. After authentication is complete, it'll be written to that. You can now run the ROADRecon gather command. ROADRecon gather. All right. And then we can explore it with the ROADRecon GUI. ROADRecon GUI. We'll grab this. Okay, sweet. So let's see what access we have. We have users, and we've compromised Matthias. So let's see like if Matthias has anything interesting about him. So him right here. I can already see some stuff, but if we click Matthias, we see we have his object ID. He's in the IT department, and he's an Azure Administrator level 1, so he's not like a global admin, but he might have some admin rights. And he is a directory reader, which means we can read basic information, commonly used to grant directory read access to applications and guests. All right. Owned objects. Device admins allows resources to be assigned. So we own that object. We have the raw information there. Let's grab this stuff for our notes and highlight the things that seem the most important. So we'll highlight this. A few things that stand out to me. His job title, right? Azure Administrator level 1. And he's a directory reader, which means we can't modify settings per se, but we can read settings. So let's go ahead and drop that into our notes. And the other thing is this own object. He owns the device admin's object or group, so therefore he can modify it, add users to that group, I think is what it means by own object. So there we go. Device admins. All that looks good. So with that information, we could also look at if there's anything else that stands out to us from here. Let's just click around. So here's our groups. And remember, we own the device admin. So if we click that, owner, so we're the owner, but there's no members, but we could potentially add ourselves as a member. We have some other groups that we can't do anything with those, at least not with our current credentials. What's this? Okay, this is owned by Sam. Oh, let's go to, okay, devices, administrative units, director roles. Applications. We have a static web app here. Service principals, application roles, OAuth 2 permissions. Cool. So ROADRecon's neat. Now I'm curious on the Azure portal. Let's log into that. Knowing that we have access to that group, let's see if we can get any more information from the actual portal itself about that group. All right, cool. Sign me as Matthias. So this, we have a recent virtual machine, so we probably want to check that out. And I also want to go to groups and look at our group there. There's device something, right? Device admins. Oh. Yeah, no members, but we're the owner. Which, as the owner, we can add people to this group. So add ourselves to the group, I would think. And if we go to Automat 01, here is a VM. It doesn't look like we have access to the public IP. All right, if we go over to activity log, see if there's anything here. No. IAM control. Oh, no, we don't have access to networking. Okay, we see we have a user named Automation who has SSH access to it. So if we can compromise that user, we'll probably be able to get the public IP information as well and SSH into it. Let's go ahead and grab a screenshot of that information. These are the two things that stand out to me there. Control C. I can't do any of this just from here, can I? Yeah, because I can't. I don't think I have permissions to actually see the public IP address. But I wonder if by adding ourselves to that group, then we'll get permissions to do that. So let's go over to members, add members, us, select, and then we might be able to dump secrets and such with Graph Runner, which I showed in a previous video. Which, let's go back to our Windows machine. Oh, not Graph Runner. Actually, it's Microburst, I think is what I'm looking for. Import module, Microburst. And in the meantime, I might have to log out and log back in. I keep clicking the wrong buttons on my other screen. Come on, go faster. Oh, make sure not missing in the chat. Guys, I'm still tired from when I woke up super early yesterday. Nicholas said, hello from Oregon. What up? Good to have you here. Just finished an RT engagement writing report now. Awesome. Awesome job. Here to boost the algorithm. Well, I appreciate it. Feel free to turn me on in the background. You can listen to me get frustrated at things while you work on your report. Oh my goodness. I keep clicking the wrong buttons over and over and over again. You're still here? If I go to owners. Alright, we're still in the group. I want to re-authenticate as Matthias now that we're in that group. Alright, and then I think the module is... Oh, it's like AZ... Going off memory here. Okay, it's not AZ get passwords. Microburst Azure Wiki. Get AZ passwords it might be. Maybe it's get AZ passwords. Get AZ passwords. Yeah, because it's usually a verb in PowerShell. Oh, would you look at that? So there was a key vault. Interesting. we have start a new devices key vault. So when we added ourselves to that device group or whatever that device admin group, we were the owner, but we weren't a member. When we added ourselves as a member, it gave us access to the device's new key vault. And then with the get AZ passwords on microburst, we were able to export the secret from here, which is an SSH private key. We have to format it a little bit, but there's usually some easy ways to do this in order to format it properly. If we just go to like little online formatters, otherwise ChatGPT can probably do it. You just have to remove the spaces properly. RSA key formatter. I wouldn't encourage you to put a real private key on here, but we're just doing a lab, so YOLO. Here we go. This is like a proper one. So let's go ahead and grab that and go over to our Linux machine here, open a new tab, and we'll make a directory called Azure, cd to Azure, make a directory called unmask, cd unmask, and nano id RSA. Well, we'll just do key.pem like that, paste in our private key, change mode 400, key.pem. But we still don't have the public IP information. So let's go back to our Windows machine. I wonder what the Azure command. Get AZ virtual machine. I'm literally making that up. Okay, I figured that wouldn't work. Azure PowerShell syntax to get the public IPs of all virtual machines. What up, Cyber? What up, Jeffrey Allen? Hey, I was close. You guys see that? I was really close. I did get, what did I do? Get Azure Virtual Machine. It's get AZ VM. My guess was close. Okay. How do I see the IP though? Okay, so we need to just store that in a variable. And they're just calling it VMs. And then this is getting the network interface. All right, I just want to run this command. I don't need all the other scripting. That's cool. Maybe because we don't have... We have the NIC right there. What if I just go like this? Oh, did I do the wrong... Oh, good call. It is VM. I'll just change it to VMs here. Maybe that'll fix it. Oh! It removed us from the group. We have like a race condition here. There must be a script on the back end that's like, hey, they're not supposed to be in this group. And it removed us. Wonder if I have to re-authenticate again. Oh, look, we have it. The public IP address. All right, let me grab that and let's go over to our parent machine and drop this information here. And remember, our user, I think, was automate or automation. Oh, I didn't grab it. Oh, yeah, I did automation. Boom. We have SSH access. And we have bash history. And it looks like our previous user was passing credentials on the command line. Big no-no. AZ login username Serena at Mega Big Tech with this password Galaxy999. Listing some group information. Let's grab that as well for our notes. And drop that in Cherry Tree. And actually grab it in clear text so it's easier to copy and paste. Right, so there's our user. And if we scroll up, identify and exploit Azure attack path. So I think we kind of did that. Abuse Entra ID to gain privileges. Automation, account enumeration, and secret exfiltration. Well, let's see. I answered Nox Illuminati your question. Are you obfuscating passwords you find on pen test reports? What do you mean? Like when I'm doing a report for a pen test and I am creating the report? Yeah, I don't include passwords on the report. It's always blocked out. I don't include the passwords in clear text on the report, if that's what you're asking. Use Entra ID to gain privileges, automate account enumeration, and secret exfiltration. Okay, let's just see if we can authenticate as Serene. So let's grab this. Let's go back to our Windows VM and let's do connect AZ account. Use another account, Serene at Mega Big Tech, and we will grab her password. Oh, and you know what? We need to add, remember our unique ID? I said in the beginning, every time you find a password, you need to add this unique ID to it. We need to do that for this password as well. So that's actually the password, I think. Okay, so we're able to authenticate. Wonder what the Azure portal looks like. Yeah, Nox. So what Nox is asking, I know you guys can't see it. He said, yeah, if you had a credential, I was wondering in your proofs in your report if you're hiding the full credential, only partial. I'm hiding the full credential. Like an example of when I do that often is to demonstrate that brute force attacks are possible, so there's no rate limiting. So I'll do a screenshot of intruder with like 300 or 400 requests, all very quickly, showing an authenticated request on like the 400th request, showing that rate limiting is not enabled. But in intruder, I'll block out that password there for the report and for my screenshot, so that I'm not storing that password in clear text. Let's see. All right, Serene, what do you got? We have automation and a schedule VM start stop. Let's look at both of these. We have this automation account. Can we do anything with it? Activity log, access control, runbooks. Okay, so that's this right here. Can we? Okay. See if we're storing any credentials in clear text here in the code. So we're just connecting Azure account with our application ID. We're getting some VM information. We're doing a for loop for each VM there. We're just starting VMs. But no passwords being passed in clear text. Okay. Let's read about Azure Runbook. All right, so this is what we kind of checked. Storing credentials and security within runbooks can lead to exposure of sensitive information. Hard-coding credentials using weak encryption methods. Utilize Azure automation credential assets or manage identities. Excessive permissions. I don't think that applies. Lack of monitoring logging. Oh, man. Once again, y'all, do just want to point out these labs are top tier. I don't know about you guys, but these are in depth and they're not CTF-y. Very realistic. And I really enjoy them. I learn a lot every time. I get stuck, but there's walkthroughs when you get stuck as well. And we'll even look at the walkthrough when or if I'm able to actually complete this. Let's do... Okay, Azure Runbook. Maybe I'm looking for like misconfigurations. No, Gromit. They offer labs on Azure, AWS, and GCP. I'm just personally trying to learn Azure pen testing, so that's why I'm focused so much on Azure. No. We'll check out a few of these. And so, like I told you guys before, I did go through this lab a few days ago, so I actually know the misconfiguration that we're looking for. But I want to see like how I would find it myself if I was really looking through this. If I can't find it, I'll show you guys what it is. But I want to know like how I would have identified this if I didn't know. You know what I mean? Lack of MFA. And you know, maybe this would be a cool blog post. Like at Rhino, we try to do research blogs of not often it's unique attack vectors or CVEs, but this might be a pretty unique attack vector, what's in this lab. Because I'm not seeing it in some of these. Like, let me just flip through these. Okay. So if I remember right, the actual vulnerability that we're looking for is, if you can imagine Azure Runbook. So if we go back over to our script here and we go to edit in Portal, whenever we have scripts that we're running, you can imagine we might have some parameters that the script might be relying on that aren't actually in the script, or maybe some things in the background. Can we see it here actually? Oh my goodness. So this would be an easy way to see it. I didn't see it this way last time. Last time I had to do some PowerShell stuff, but if we go to assets here, we can see variables. And can I run this now? You can see we have variables right here. We have a flag variable and a password variable. Can I save? I don't have permission to save. Is there a way to read these variables from here? Maybe there isn't. But you can see we have variables right here. How do I get variables from an Azure Runbook using Azure PowerShell? Get AZ automation variable. Okay, well, we have to have all that information on it to list all variables in the automation account. Okay, let's see if we can get that stuff. I think it's like get AZ resources. AZ resource. So we have some information here. Here's our schedule VM start stop. We have resource group name, resource type. So we have some of the information we might need to be able to put this together. So let's jot this down and then let's look over at what GPT told us we need. So if we copy this, we need the automation account name. I'd assume that would be this. We need our resource group name. We need our variable name. Which, can we dump all variables? So we saw like password and flag. Let's first just try password. That didn't work. The variable was not found. There's no variable named password. Was it with a capital P? Because I'm pretty sure there's a variable named password. It was a capital P. Maybe that's my issue. Dang it. Can I just dynamically get all variables? To list all variables, that's kind of what I want to do. You know, now that I'm thinking of this, I may have put this in my GitHub. Hold up. Once I work through this code, I may have added it to my GitHub so I could use it when I'm doing an assessment and I want to do something like this. Let me check. Offensive security, Azure. Oh, no, this is get access token. Okay, so I didn't put this specific one in my GitHub yet, but I probably should, once I figure this out, add this to my GitHub so I can easily access it if needed. Maybe I just need to word this better. Let's start with list all. We already listed the runtime stuff. Let's go back to that command. Oh no. What was it? Get AZ like runtime or something? Okay. Go back to ChatGPT. Get this. This is what I want to do. Oh, that's right. This is what I did. Maybe I should just read how to use this command myself. Okay, so if we want to get a variable, automation account name, the name of the variable, resource group name. Let's try something like this, maybe. I'm going to try the flag. Flag. And resource group name was this. Okay, so let's back up a little bit, and I'm thinking if we can figure out how to list all the variables. Oh, is it my name that's wrong? I see. What if I do that? Hey! I think that was my only issue. That might be the flag. And if we do password, boom. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. 1 hour and 40 minutes later. About the first hour was me troubleshooting all of my broken VMs. But we have our value right here, password of the automation service principal. Note it has been assigned global admin permissions. If you don't know Azure, global admin is sort of like domain admin, but in the cloud. So that means we have fully pwned the environment, and we also have the flag variable here. So we can go ahead and grab that flag variable and go here, input our flag, and submit. We successfully completed the challenge. I almost gave up because of my broken Kali VM, but hey, kudos to Parrot OS. Parrot OS came in and saved the day. ROADRecon worked beautifully on there, and we were able to keep on working through stuff. There's actually a few things though I still want to try before we sign off. One, I want to see on here. I want to look at the same attack path, but from Bloodhound. because I want to see if we could see this attack path maybe a little more clear in Bloodhound. But of course, my freaking Kali VM was trash and it wouldn't properly install stuff. Let's see if this machine, my Parrot machine, will work any better. We can close that out, and we'll just go to Azure. I think we need Docker Compose like that. Oh. Install Docker Compose real quick. So we're not done. We did complete the lab, but this is kind of like, I think it's OXDF who always does the beyond the root and kind of investigates a little more. So although we completed the lab, I want to play around a little bit more so I understand this attack path better and understand some different ways I would fix it. But apparently Docker Compose isn't going to work. Gosh dang it, of course it's not. Okay, maybe I'm not going to play around with Docker Compose. We could try. At least give it a shot. Wonder how long this will take. Maybe it won't take too long to update our packages, and that might fix the issue I'm having. Oops. Depends Python 3 Docker. Maybe there's a better way to install Docker Compose. Is there just a binary I can install, or maybe a Debian package that I can install that way? Let's see if there is. Yes, exactly what I was looking for. My music stopped again. Let me get some music turned back on, y'all. Okay. Oh, I want to do Docker Compose. Is that included in Docker Desktop? Oh yeah, you can. Okay, it is included. Is that fully downloaded? Okay, beautiful. I think it's just .i. Telling you guys, pen testing is just constant troubleshooting. When one way doesn't work, you try to figure out a different way. We'll see how long this takes. What up, Chris? Yo. Good to have you here. Turn the music down just a tad. Of course. Error processing package Docker desktop. Dependency problems leaving unconfigured. Alright, I'll try it that way. Jeez. It's cursed. Well, maybe we aren't going to be able to look at it in Bloodhound. I didn't even do that. I know I tried DBKG. That's what I did initially, my friend. I tried both, see? It fails due to dependency issues. Like I said, works no problems on my other Kali machine that's updated, but my Parrot and Kali machine on this computer are clearly broken. I need to just wipe them and start over. I'll try it one more time. Maybe I can figure out how to troubleshoot it. But I mean, I've already completed the lab, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this. It's also getting kind of late. So it says dependent blah blah. So we have all these dependencies we might need to install. We could ask GPT about it if we wanted. Maybe this will work. Let's try this. Have I checked out perplexity.ai? No, what's perplexity.ai? Kind of like ChatGPT, but also gives you references. That's cool. I'll have to check it out. Oh my goodness, it has my picture. Is he an elite hacker? Alright, let's see how accurate this is. Tyler Ramsbey is an IT professional with a background in cybersecurity and ethical hacking. He holds certifications such as the OSCP and is known for creating educational content in cybersecurity and ethical hacking. While the term lead hacker is often used to refer to leader skilled hackers, it's important to note that ethical hackers like Ramsbey use their skills for security testing and protection. Therefore, it'd be more accurate to describe him as a knowledgeable professional. No, I am Tyler, and I prefer lead hacksaw. Okay, let's ask this. Has Tyler Ramsbey discovered any CVEs? I have two. I have 2 discovered CVEs. 8 of them to be exact. You don't know what you're talking about, silly. Okay, what else? Is Tyler Ramsbey cooler than John Hammond? The question of who is cooler is subjective and is not something that can be objectively determined. Both Tyler Ramsbey and John Hammond are respected professionals in the field of cybersecurity, each with their own areas of expertise and contributions to the industry. Okay, but who would win in a boxing match? I would win in a boxing match. He needs to work on his facts there, but that is really cool, yo. Thanks, Nidins, for sharing. Okay, hopeless. We're not gonna do it this way. I'll probably do it again on another stream to check it out, but let's go to the lab before we actually close it out, and let's very quickly review like the official walkthrough and see if I miss anything or if I did anything way differently. And then we'll call it a night. So this is where he first unmasked the image. We connected to him. So I didn't even use the AZ CLI. I used PowerShell. And so this is how they found the virtual machine. I logged into the console and saw the virtual machine. And it looks like here you can actually see the admin username of automation. So then you can see, okay, we have SSH keys. That's just a public key, so you can authenticate with that. If you try to get the IP, it fails, which we kind of noticed ourselves just in the console. We couldn't get the public IP. And here's ROADRecon. Pip install ROADRecon. Yeah, usually it works that easily if your freaking VM isn't trash. But mine was trash, so it didn't work right away. But we eventually got it to work. We gathered the data. We launched the GUI. And, and it says, okay, if Bloodhound... I wonder if they'll show us Bloodhound, because this is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see what it looked like in Bloodhound. But here's ROADRecon. We looked up our user. And, yep, all things that I noted in my notes. And we own the device admins group. So this is all things we looked at. They're connecting. Also, they do it the elite hacker way. I just cannot remember the syntax of these commands, y'all. That's why I'm always in the console and some PowerShell. But so they did AZ add group member. They targeted the object ID and our member object ID, which would be our user. Oh, so let's kill the existing sessions and quickly log in case a suspicious admin removes our membership. So that's actually what happened. Remember, I had access, and then all of a sudden I lost access. There's a script that is functioning as a suspicious admin, removing your access. So it's almost like a type of race condition once you add yourself to the group. Then they check the role assignments to see they have the key vault secret user. So let's say you would check the role manually. I just yellowed it, used microbursts, and like dumped all the passwords to see if I could get access to anything. They manually did it, right? So they checked the key vault. They saw that there's secrets available in the device's new key vault. And then they dumped the secrets and they saw that SSH key. And they downloaded it. So once again, multiple ways to do this. I was able to use microburst to do the same thing. And then they actually set all the SSH permissions in Windows with iCalcs. I used my parent machine and just changed mod 400 because that's how I'm used to doing it. We SSH'd into it. We saw the history. Yep, we saw that password. We connected as that person, and we saw the same thing. I was just doing the resources wrong when I was trying to read it. Running the command below, we got information about it. I didn't export the runbook. So this is so you could look at the code, but you could see you could also look at the code in the console. So that's what I ended up doing, was just in the console, I looked over the code. We saw the PowerShell script. There was nothing super interesting there. It's worth checking for credentials that are configured in the automation account. Automation often requires credentials because they perform automated tasks that typically need authentication. While it's not possible to access the plaintext password directly, they are made available in the runbook. If we have permissions to edit, we could append the PowerShell to the script and see the... So that's what I tried to do initially, if you remember. I tried to just like read the variables, but it wouldn't allow me to edit it. And that's probably what this is saying. You can't actually edit it. And then here's the assets, which are globally accessible variables that can be referenced from any runbooks in the automation account. Sensitive automation variables such as keys and passwords should be encrypted, but it seems in this case, a sensitive variable was stored unencrypted, global admin, and pwned. And that's exactly what we saw. We found the flag, and we had the global admin. So let's talk about defense. Company employees freely share information on social media that red teams can use to create targeted pretexts for their phishing emails and lures, and also in creating likely passwords. In this case, the employee thought they had redacted the sensitive information, but due to how iOS markup overlays the data with transparency, even on the highest setting, this data was recoverable. Another issue that allowed us to move laterally to the automation account was the exposed password in the .bash history file. Passing passwords on the command line as command line is a bad practice, as command history may be stored in either bash or PowerShell history files and may also be caught in the Windows event log if command line argument logging is enabled. In the case that there is no web browser available, we can run AZ login, use device code to force device code authentication after browsing to the device login page and entering the code. That's actually how I authenticated a ROADRecon. We can sign in as a user and get a session in the context of the terminal. Finally, we obtain global admin creds due to insecure storage of secrets. Sensitive data that you want to make available to your runbook should be saved as encrypted variables. It's worth noting that variables are not set to be encrypted by default. After creating an encrypted variable, you can't change its encryption status without recreating the variable. Wow. That was a lot of fun. Hey, kudos to Pwn Labs, the entire team over there. If you don't have a subscription to Pwn Labs, you should get one. This was just one of many very in-depth labs. I can even give you a glimpse of some of these labs that you get access to. Let me back out to here. And like I said, we have all these different platforms, right? So a lot of AWS, a lot of Azure. We can load more labs, keep going through, load more labs. All, like, from what I can see, even the free labs, incredible quality that cover so many of these things. You can see we have a lot of free labs on the AWS side of things to check out. And when I was talking to Ian, they were actually adding new labs this week. They're constantly adding new labs to the platform. So, make sure you check them out. But if you're watching this after the fact on YouTube, this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this unique attack process. Hope you enjoyed watching me lose my mind multiple times over my terrible VMs that I have set up on this computer, but I'm going to fix that before the next stream. We're going to reinstall, get it all fresh. And for those of you watching the live stream, thank you for hanging out. But for those of you on the live stream, I'm not disconnecting quite yet. So I'll hang around, we'll hang out, chat, and I'm actually going to work on getting that VM fixed. And I'll just do it on live while I chat with you guys. But thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.